And time now for my first guest. I'm absolutely delighted to be speaking to Betty Boo. How are you, Betty? Okay?
Hello, Wyn. How are you? Yes, I'm fine. You?
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, nice to hear your voice. Lovely indeed. Yes. Can we start with a new single, "Get to the Weekend"? So tell us about that. Did you write it, produce it?
Yes, I wrote and produced it with my co-writer and producer Andy Wright, and yes, so it's part of the first single from my new album that's going to be out early summer. And yes, it's a product of lockdown, and yeah, it's all about wanting to get to the weekend, because during lockdown we were all wishing that we could spend time with our friends and go out at the weekend, and I just felt inspired by that, and so we wrote it, and then we went back to it to put some finishing touches on it in the studio when we were allowed to see each other, and then we played around, and we put the Love Action bass line in there and the guitar riff, and it worked a treat. So we really loved it, and here we are today.
Yeah, and yeah, a bit of Human League in there as well. Yes, as you said, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. It's yeah, Love Action from the Dare album from back in the day. So it's sort of 1980s meets me 1990s.
Yeah. I had to think for a minute. I thought, I've heard that before somewhere, but it wouldn't click for a minute. I said, Human League. Then it came to me then after that, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But some of the work was done in the bedroom, wasn't it? Bedrooms, all mixed in your bedroom, the early parts of it.
Yeah, well, but basically I was able to, because I've got a studio at home, and then obviously when lockdown happened, everyone had to find a way of working. So I moved my studio to my bedroom, and which I still have today, because I quite I like working in here, and yeah, so I recorded and wrote the stuff here, the words, and I sang everything and edited it and sent it to Andy in London, and then we would work virtually and in isolation, and kept sending things backwards and forwards, and we just chipped away, and I eventually made a whole album.
Yeah, the wonders of internet and modern technology, yeah?
I know, exactly. And it was a different way of working, but quite a good way of working, actually, because it meant that, there was didn't travel or anything. We managed to make the most of the time that we had to, just took the boredom away, I suppose.
Yeah. So they're saying nothing since 1992, but you didn't really disappear, did you? You've been writing songs for other people.
Yeah, that's right. So I just got into songwriting after sort of semi-retiring as a pop star, if you like. Yeah, so I just kept working and here and there, and I featured on a couple of sort of cool dance records, and just keeping myself out of trouble. And yeah, that's that.
And Pure and Simple for Hearsay, a Novello award, that must have been good, yeah?
Yeah, well, it was great to win an Ivor Novello, and unexpected actually, for a song that actually was it was a few years old actually before it resurfaced for Hearsay, because I'd written it for a girl group a few years beforehand, and it was recorded and it was made into a record, and then put onto a Japanese import of all things, and it was forgotten about. And when I did it with this girl group, Pete Waterman produced it, and he was on one of the panelists on the program Pop Stars. It was the first talent show, wasn't it, in this country? He imported it from Australia, and one of its kind. And then so he knew about the song, and when they put Hearsay together finally towards the end of the voting and everything, they recorded Pure and Simple, because Pete Waterman had always loved the song, and they recorded it, and that's it really, and that launched them, and it was the fastest selling record of all time at the time, which was astonishing, really.
So did you know they were going to use it then, up until the first year, did them singing it?
No, I had no idea at all. It's not until I read, I was reading one of the tabloids the following day after they'd won. It was on a Sunday, and I was reading their profile, what they would what they're about, you know, people like Noel and Mylene and everything. And then at the bottom, there was a little caption that said, "Ring this number if you want to hear Hearsay's new single, Pure and Simple." It was like one of those 0800 number things.
Yeah.
So I phoned it, and I thought,
That's my song.
exactly. So I found out that way, and before I knew it, it was released, and so it was everywhere, and I think it sold over 1 million copies in like the first day, 2 days. So yes, it made a great impact, and it's a nice little song.
So is it your name, your full name, Alison Clarkson, as the writer, or is it Betty Boo?
It's Alison Clarkson.
Right.
That's how it's credited. Yeah.
Those early hit singles were especially had a kind of space age feel, space 1999 Emma Peel kind of feel. Was that did a bit to do that?
Yeah, it was. I really wanted to. I was very influenced by the sort of telly that I grew up on, and top of the pops images that I used to see growing up as a kid in the 70s and 80s, and I just wanted to be. I just like the idea of being a character and stepping outside reality a little bit to be able to perform, because actually deep down I'm quite a shy person, and to have a character really helps, helps you perform better, and not help. It stops you thinking about what you have to do at home, like the washing, all that sort of stuff.
So is rapping easy for you? Does it come easy to you doing that?
Well, rapping is. I've always rapped since I was like a young teenager. I used to do it with my friends, and in our bedrooms and at school, in the schoolyard. And this was in the 80s, and it was just a style that I developed and I loved, and I loved rap music growing up. And it's a vocal style that is really close to me and part of who I am. And although I was more underground when I was a teenager. It was probably less poppy, but now, I mean, I used that influence when I wanted to make pop records to put a bit of rap in there and some singing as well. So it became a combination that I loved doing, and that's how Doing the Do came about, and Where Are You Baby, and the rest of my album Boom Mania. But I had a record out with the Beatmasters in 1989, where I was asked to be a guest vocalist on that, rapping.
Yeah. And
that it was a cover of a Martha and the Vandellas song called I Can't Dance to that, and
that's a Hey DJ bit, isn't it? That starts with that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that's like a stepping stone for me, and I recorded that with them, and before I knew it, I was on Top of the Pops and performing it with them, and doing smash hits and all those sorts of things. So it was a great introduction into being a sort of a pop star, if you like.
Yeah. So lockdown gave you the inspiration to get Betty going again, but it was in 1992. Obviously, your mum wasn't very well, so the career came to a sort of a stop, didn't it? That's what happened then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. I just took time out, and I just wanted to look after her until she passed, and then I didn't return to being an artist anymore, because it felt like I didn't really want to be, and as anyone who's lost somebody, that it takes some time to feel like you can do other things, but to be out there and it's just it wasn't the right thing to do, and I didn't feel like it either. So, so coming back by doing some songwriting things was a good way of getting back into working, and I took up tennis as well in the meantime.
Well, we broadcast out of a studio in Swansea, okay? And I do know you've been to Swansea, because I remember once seeing you at the Radio 1 Roadshow in Swansea. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do, and I remember. I think, who would have done it? Mark Goodyear or someone like...
Yeah, no, Gary Davis.
Oh, was it Gary Davis?
Yeah,
oh.
Gary Davis, and you had Chris Cross on the stage with you, or appearing on the same act as you.
Oh my gosh, that's a blast from the past. Yeah, that's to me. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant. Thanks for spending me the time this afternoon. It's been brilliant to talk to you. Good luck with the single, and that's what we're going to do now. We're going to play the single for you called "Get Me to the Weekend," and here we go. Thank you very much indeed for being my guest today. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Can't wait to get with you. Get me to the weekend. Yeah. Hey,